Hi, this is Dara Monifa Cooper, your Cooperative Extension Service Communication Specialist in PR, Technology, and Online Distance Learning. This is the virtual workshop in Zoom, and it's just a recap of it. So for those who attended and wanted a refresher, or for those who are unable to attend, you can go through this video and it should help to jog your memory. So when you open up your Zoom icon, whether it's on your computer, your tablet, or your mobile device, this will be what shows up, this little window right here. And if you do not have an account, this is how it would appear. So what we usually do is we send out a Zoom ID, and that is the number that you use to join the meeting. So you would have to click on join a meeting, and there's the ID right there. So I had it saved from before, but I'm going to take it out for a second just to show you what it would look like if you did not have the number yet. And of course, it depends on which version of Zoom you have downloaded, which software, which device you're using, and so on. But no matter which device and which version, you will have the option of typing in a meeting ID or a personal link name. It would just look different. So whatever it is, you want to make sure you look inside that box and see what it's asking for. If it's asking for personal link name, you're not going to be able to type in the numbers that are the meeting ID. So you want to make sure that you can do that. So I'm going to type in the numbers. All right. And down here, it's going to ask for your name. Okay. So oftentimes you're going to see that it says something like iPhone, or it's going to say Galaxy, something or the other, or Android. What you want to do is you want to click in this box and delete that, whether you delete it by clicking behind the word and pressing the backspace button, or whatever it is, whichever way that you will delete it, you delete that and you actually type your name. So I'm just going to type mine. And what's below that, you'll see different options. So remember my name for future meetings. If it's your device, you can go ahead and click on that. If not, then I would leave that unchecked. If you click on Don't Connect to Audio, when you go into the meeting, you're going to have to connect to the audio. Okay, and I'll show you that in a few. If you click on Turn Off My Video, then your camera looking at you, whatever the device is that you're using, it will not automatically show you to everyone else. You'd have to turn your camera on once you get into the meeting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and undo all of these things so that when we get in, I can show you how to get them done. And I can click Remember My Name for future meetings because this is the device that I use by myself. So that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and click Join. And now we're going to go into what is the waiting room, and we have to wait to be admitted. So I'm going to wait to be admitted, and now that I'm admitted, this is what I see. So because I didn't click that, or because I clicked that option of not connecting to audio, these options show up. So I could click right here, join with computer audio. If I need to test the speakers and microphones first, I can do that. And if you look down here, it says automatically join audio by computer when joining a meeting. So again, if it's your device, I would go ahead and click that. Joining audio just, gives you one less step to do when you get in. But for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to click on it for right now. But that's what you should do. Up here at the top, you'll notice that they give you the option of a phone call or the computer audio. Because I'm on a computer. If you are on a mobile device, whether a phone or a tablet, they will give you the option to join with Wi-Fi or cellular data, which means that you'll be using your own phone's data plan to be hearing and speaking within the meeting. Or sometimes it's Wi-Fi. So if you're around a Wi-Fi signal, that's what that first option would be, and you can just click on that. If you don't join audio, then your audio is not going to be connected. And what that means is that you won't be able to hear anything that's said in the meeting, and they won't be able to hear you. So you have to join computer audio in order to hear and to be heard. You see the icon down here at the bottom left. It looks like some headphones with a little green arrow pointing upwards. This is the same thing. So if you don't join audio, you won't hear anything, they won't hear you. And if you do join audio, this icon then turns into a microphone. So again, for the purposes of this meeting, I'm not going to join audio, but that's normally what you would do. And it's asking me to make sure. Do you want to continue without audio? Yes, because I'm actually using the microphone right now to record this video for you. So I'm not going to use it both to do that as well as to be in the Zoom meeting. And there's nobody else in the meeting with me anyway for me to talk to. But if I did want to click on join audio, I could, and it would come back up and I could click there. And then this would turn into a microphone with a red slash, just like this one, because it would be muted. Or if it's not muted, then it wouldn't have the red slash and then they can hear you. Okay, so that's pretty much the difference between having your audio connected versus not connected. So this one right here is not connected. And if it were connected, then it wouldn't be these headphones with the arrow. It would be a little microphone icon. And if it is turned on, it would not have a red slash, red line going down through it. And if it's muted or turned off, then it would have a red slash. So you can mute or unmute once you have joined audio, okay? Once your audio is connected. So moving on to the video. Oh, and before I do that, you notice the profile image here. Once I click on this video, this start video icon, that will go away and you'll be able to actually see me live, well, recorded, but you know what I mean. And instead of this profile picture. We'll get more into profile pictures in the second class, or I guess that would be the second video. So I'm going to click on this start video icon now, and you should be able to see me. Hello, I'm up here. So again, I'll get into this profile image in a few. But the Zoom account that I'm actually using is up here at the top. And I'm going to make this now full screen so that we can see the entire Zoom window. And I'll be off to the side here. Now I could switch this. Let me do that so you can be seeing me. And I'm going to pin. Here I go. Hi, how you doing? Okay. Okay, so what we're getting into now are going to be these different menu items at the bottom of your screen. If you're on a mobile device, like an iPad, different tablets, it would be at the top of your screen, not down here at the bottom, okay? But for now, since I'm using a computer, they're at the bottom. And again, there are many different ways to join Zoom, whether it's using a phone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android, doesn't matter, or Windows, an iPad or a tablet, which is this. And this is actually what I'm using to host the Zoom meeting now, so that I can join the meeting as a participant that does not have an account. Because it looks different when you have an account. Some of the settings are different. All right, so let's go from the, well, over here is your left. From the left over here, and then we'll move over. So we did the microphone, which is the connecting or disconnecting the audio. And you'll notice that the menu items kind of disappear after a while. You can change that setting, but we'll get more into that in another video. The next one we're going to do is going to be right here, the video. So if I click on stop video, all you'll see is my name, right? Because that's what happens when you don't have a profile picture, when you don't have registered account. You just see a name. So I'm going to click Start Video. So now you can see me again, because it's not about the name, right? So the suggestion is that when you're in Zoom meetings, because Zoom meetings are trying to help us somewhat replicate real meetings, you want to have your camera on. The pro to that is that you'll be able to see and not just hear people. Communication is largely nonverbal. Okay, so the words are one thing, but the facial expression and the body language, we know that speaks much, much more than words. But the downside to that is if you're using your own internet service, whether it's your phone or your iPad or your tablet, it is running down your data plan very quickly. And if you don't have an unlimited plan, you'll run out of data faster than if you just don't use the video. Or if you have an unlimited plan, because we know some of those unlimited plans aren't really unlimited, they just slow down after you get to a certain amount of data usage. Your data usage will slow down, and so before the end of the month, when it has to start over again, the things that you try to do online will be slower, and the connections won't be as strong. So just know that those things that are what happens if you're using video, both watching and sending video. So receiving video, whether it's YouTube or like we're doing now in Zoom, or if you have your camera on in Zoom. So the benefit of turning them on is so that you can kind of replicate as if you're in person, but the downside of that is that it does use a lot of data. So it's just a judgment call that you have to make. All right, so we went over joining a Zoom meeting using either a meeting ID or a web link, and the difference between those. Usually you just click on the web link and then follow the steps, whatever the steps are depending on the device, or you type in the numbers. We also spoke about the difference between, a little bit of a difference between having a registered Zoom account and being a guest, which is what I'm doing right now in this session. I'm being a guest. And some of those things are, like, I can't have a profile picture, so you just see my name. And there are a few other things. So I'm going to now go and click on this little, what people call a caret, not a carrot, but a caret, or an arrow right above the stop video icon. And you're going to see that there's some options that show up. You'll notice that my background is blurred. And you don't need an account in order to be able to do things with your background. It just depends on which version of Zoom that you have downloaded in terms of the software, the app. So I'm going to just click on choose a virtual background just for a second, just to show you what the menu options are. But we won't go too much into this for today. So if I click on it, then I get the settings. And right here, you'll notice that it says virtual backgrounds, and it says none, or it says blur. So if you have other pictures and things that you want to load, you would click here by the little plus sign. It says add images or video. It can be a video behind you as well. And you would follow the steps in order to change your background. It would basically have you search your computer or your device in order to do that. There are also video filters, and you don't want to mess with these too much unless you're just having fun. But these video filters can, do some pretty interesting things. And I guess this is for the young or the young at heart. So not for professional meetings, right? Okay. So I'm going to go back and click on none. But just wanted to show you that some of these are in here. And again, everything depends on whether or not you are using the latest version of the Zoom software. Mirror My Video will do just that. It'll switch me over to the side. So there may be reasons why you want to do that, and this little option up here will rotate your video. Now I'm upside down. Okay, So just showing you a couple of things in here. Studio effects, and all of these depend on, of course, which version of Zoom you have. So if you want some eyebrows, you know, look at my eyebrows, they get a little darker there. If you want some lipstick, you know. So just showing you some of these things exist. There are different settings in here. You can find your skin tone there if you want to change your skin tone. I will not go through all of these now, but I'm just basically showing you that these things exist in your settings, and you would have options of controlling them. So I'm going to close the settings now and move on to the other area, participants. So right down here, this icon with the two little people, and I see the number 2 because there is the device that I'm using to call into this Zoom meeting, and then there's this initial device, which is actually my iPad right over there, that is hosting the meeting. Okay, and that one is signed in with a registered Zoom account, which is why you can see a profile picture. So if I click on the participants panel, then I get to see who else is in the meeting. And it's me both times, obviously, but one is on a device that has the camera connected. I didn't connect the microphone, so if I did connect the microphone, you would see a little mic here, just a little mic icon. But I didn't do that because I have the devices in the same room and it would cause feedback. So just to avoid you all that wonderful music, I didn't do that. And then this device on the top, this participant, is me, is the one that I'm using right now. That's why you see the letter D, because it just takes the first letter of the first word in there and it puts it in there. If I had 2 words, it would be 2 letters. And there's your participant ID number. But you can change this. Let's see. I'm going to click on the More button, and there's the rename option. Well, I guess it won't let me change the participant ID because I don't have an account. So, but same way that you could rename it earlier. You type in whatever, and then you click on rename, or it might say OK. But now I just wanted to show you that the acronym in the little bubble here is now DC instead of just D. Okay, so that's what you're able to do. Down here, you'll see the word invite. So if I click on this, this is where you'll see information about the meeting, and you can copy the link to the invitation and maybe email it to someone, or if you're on a phone, copy the link and text it to someone, or you can copy the entire invitation, which is a whole lot of information that you probably don't need. Or you could just click on whichever email server you use and send it to someone that way. Okay, these are some other settings that I won't go into right now because those are a little bit more advanced, and you don't need these in order to be able to participate in a Zoom meeting. So I'm going to close the participants panel and move on to the chat. So I'm going to click on the chat icon. And now here we are in the chat. And very, very important note that I want to make here. At the bottom, you see the word to, and you see everyone. If I click on that, you'll see one other person. If there were 2 of us, 3 of us, 4 of us, 5 of us in here, you would see all of the other names. This is for the purpose of sending a private or a direct message. There is a rumor that when you send private or direct messages, the host, or whoever the host is, can see those messages. According to Zoom, that is not true. I'm going to click on this so you'll see that. It says, everyone in the meeting can see and save your message with everyone and can share them with apps and others. Only you and those you chat with can save your direct messages, also known as private messages, and share them with apps and others. So, not that there probably isn't a way to hack anything, but in general, Zoom says your private messages are only seen between you and the person that you send a message to, okay? Just so you know that. So how you would send a message is you would basically click down here where it says type message, and you would type in whatever you want to type in and then press enter, or in some cases there'll be a little send button, you press send. So at the top now, you see it says me to everyone, okay? And it even shows you the time. If I'm sending a private message or a direct message, I would click on that everyone, and in the drop down menu, select who I want to speak to, and notice now it says direct message, and then say hi, enter. Look at the difference. Now it says me to whoever that person was, and it shows that it's a direct message. Okay, these little dots just allow you to copy it if you need to. So just showing you that that's what that is. Some of us will have the option to save the chat if you are on a computer, and if the host has allowed that. And saving the chat, it would save in a document, a text document, that would automatically show up on your computer, in your documents folder, in a Zoom folder, in a session folder for the Zoom meeting. So you'll find it if you just keep going through that pattern. Documents, Zoom, and then it'll show you different meetings depending on how many Zoom meetings you went into. It'll create a folder for each one. In that will be the chat if you save it, and if you're allowed to save it based on the host, whatever they said. All right, a little while ago there was, let me see if it comes back. There we go. A file icon. If I click on file, it'll give me the option to share a file in the Zoom meeting through the chat. Okay, so you would just click on your computer and follow the directions to share the file. You'd browse your computer and share that way. So that's the chat menu. All right, so right now I am in, I'm pinned, and I don't know if you can see that up there. Let's see, but it says that, well, it says remove pin because I pinned my video. So I am now going to remove the pin and show you the different views. Okay, at the top over here you see the word view. I think you see the word view, and on your device it depends on device, but it's usually at the top. And if I click on this, you'll see the options. So there's speaker view, there's gallery view. I'm going to change it from speaker view, and you can tell that it's in speaker view now because of the check, and I'm going to change it to gallery view. So now in gallery view, you can see a little box of everyone that's in the meeting. Okay, so if there were more of us, the boxes would get smaller and we would all fit on the screen. I think you can fit up to 50 boxes depending on the size of your screen and so on. On phones, it's usually 4 boxes at a time. And then to switch between them, you would just slide your screen that way, so that you could see the other set of 4 people at a time. And you could play around with that. So this is gallery mode. Some people look at it as like the Brady Bunch mode, because you have, it's almost like a tic-tac-toe board, and you can have, if you have 9 people, it'll look like that. And similar to how the icon looks up there right now, and you click view. So I'm going to click view again and go back to speaker mode. And the reason in this situation why I am not showing up big is because I don't have the mics on in any of these devices, because I'm doing this recording. So I only have the mic on in the software that's recording this, just so you understand that. But normally, since I'm the one talking right now, my video would be the one that shows up as the presenter. Doesn't matter who's hosting, just whoever is talking would show up if you're in presenter mode or speaker mode. All right, so let me go back and pin my video so that you can see me again. Hello. And so we're going over a couple things. The difference between being a guest, and I'm in Zoom right now as a guest so that you can see the different options down there that you have as a guest, and we have a few more to go. But we also went through joining a Zoom meeting using an ID versus like a link, a web link, and connecting audio, the difference between connecting audio and not connecting it, and why you wouldn't connect it. And the reason you wouldn't connect it is if you're going to use your phone as your audio to be speaking or being heard. Well, to be speaking or to hear people, that's what I meant. And then once your audio is connected, if you choose to connect it instead of using a phone or a separate device, you'd be able to mute and unmute your mic. But if your audio is not connected, you can't mute or unmute because your audio isn't connected. All right, turning on and off your video. And again, I'll do it one more time. If I turn my video off, you no longer see me. So that's the stop video. If I start video, there I am again. Now you see me. All right, so it's a now you see me, now you don't when it comes to that. Participants, if you click on that panel, you can see all of the participants in the meeting. And you can change your own name by hovering over it, often on the right side of the name, and clicking on rename, typing in there, and clicking rename. To invite people, you could click on the invite button, copy the invite link, and then send it to them whichever way you choose, whether it's text message, email, or so on, because it will be copied, and then you can just paste it someplace else. Another session, if you're not sure how to do that, you can ask. The chat. So if I go to chat, you'll see, oh, it's over here, some of the chat messages that I sent to myself in this meeting, to everyone, as well as direct messages, which would be a private message to whoever, and you get to those from right down here. That's where you would select who you want to send a message to. And remember that your private messages, your direct messages, are only seen between you and whoever you communicate with, contrary to somewhat popular belief that the host can see them. If you click on File, if you have that option, because you don't always have all the options, the host can turn this off. Okay? You can add a file. So you can go to your computer. You can pick something. I don't know. Let's see. I will pick anything. Recents. Here, how about this flyer? And then I'll click open, and it's going to upload. And once it finishes uploading, it will be sent to everyone in the meeting if you pressed send to everyone, which would be here. So see that? So now it's sent. So everyone in the meeting would be able to click on that and download your file. Everyone on a computer, not on a tablet or phone. So no mobile devices. But on a computer, you can use this feature. Always more features on a computer than on mobile devices because the apps are made to simulate a little bit, but many apps don't go 100%. They don't give you 100% of the features. Okay. If I click on this button here, and you have a save chat option, if I click save chat, it will save the chat to your computer. All right, so let me close out of chat. All right. So, and then we also did the different views, whether you are in gallery view, where you see multiple people, Brady Bunch, or speaker view, where the person that's speaking, whoever they are, doesn't have to be the host, or who shows up at the front, and then it will switch back and forth depending on if other people are speaking. If you're going to share your screen, this is what you see on a phone and on some tablets. On a mobile device, it looks a little different. If you share this very first screen, desktop, every single thing you do on your computer will be visible to everyone in the meeting. So oftentimes, the suggestion is that you share the window, these little windows, for the actual, whether it's a PowerPoint or if you're going to watch a YouTube video or something else like that, you share only that one by clicking on it and then clicking share. But if it is a video or even some audio, you want to make sure you come down here. Okay, if it's just audio, you can click share sound. But if it's a video that's going to be showing, you want to click this button, and notice that it also automatically clicks the sound button, the share sound button. If you don't click this, your video may end up buffering a lot. People may not be hearing it, and it'll look a little fuzzy, and it won't work as best as it actually is. Okay, and then notice that in this option, if you hold the shift button down on your keyboard, you can select more than one window to be able to go between. That's useful because oftentimes people share one window and then they move to something else and people are like, I can't see what else you're doing. Okay, so that's what you would do to share your screen, and then you would just click share. There's some other options here where you could just share a portion of your screen or share just your computer audio, content from another camera, slides as a virtual background. So like, this is a really cool option. I've used this before, and basically you would have to prepare your slides in a way that you have to fit yourself into them. So that means you leave a little space at the bottom where your face would be in, so you can talk live while the slides are showing up behind you. Again, it depends on which version of Zoom you have downloaded, but many things are possible if you download the latest versions. And if you want to just share files, that's the other option in there. So that is the sharing the screen. You won't always see the option to record. The host has to make that possible. But if you do record, the question often is, where will it record to? That also depends on many things, but the two options are in the cloud, if you have an account, or on your device. So it'll save on the computer that you're using. Video takes up a lot of memory. So if you are recording, know that, and it will slow down your computer if you don't have a lot of space left. Okay? All right. And oftentimes, again, the host has to enable that because it's not automatic for everybody. Reactions. Here's the fun stuff. So again, non-verbal communication is up there in terms of what works for people, sending messages to each other, even when you're talking. When you're texting, when you're emailing, or when you're typing into the chat box, people tend to add nonverbals so that you have some emotion with words, because many words can mean different things. Many phrases can be implying different things, and different people can take it different ways. So sometimes, especially if you don't know each other, these nonverbals are helpful to let people know what the mood is of whatever it is you're saying. And that's why I call them emoticons, emotion icons. That's why they were created, to help to give some of that emotion to communicating when it's just textual. So like right now I could clap and you'd see up there my little hands clapping. Thumbs up, that's a popular one. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's go back. Here we go, sorry about that. You could put a heart, you could do the laugh, you could do the like you're surprised. This is the ta-da, usually used for like celebratory. And there's some others, many others. Okay, down there is the skin tone option again if you wanted to change that. And down here, if you want to be able to use the nonverbals for, let's see, answering a question without unmuting, you can just click on yes. This is useful or no. If the speaker asks, or if it's a situation where you are free to say you're talking too slow or you're moving too slow, or you could speed up, you could click slow down or speed up. Not always appropriate, so mind when you do that. And then if you need to raise your hand to be acknowledged, you click on raise hand, and it stays up there until you take it down. So you want to make sure you go back and lower your hand when you're finished speaking. Okay? So again, we were just going over the basics of being in a Zoom meeting and participating as a person that does not have a Zoom account. Okay? And that's what this was for this first session. So I hope it was helpful. You could rewind and pause. That's the great thing about recordings. But feel free to contact me if need be. And I'm going to put my information in the chat. dcooper@uvi.edu is my email address. And number is 340-693-1081. So feel free to contact me if any of this was unclear, or if you have any other questions that I could help to answer for you. I'm going to click on, where is it? Right there. Leave. Now, if you're on a mobile device, oftentimes leave is someplace up at the top. Okay. But once you click on leave to leave the meeting, it will then ask you again, are you sure you want to leave the meeting, or however they're going to phrase it, and you click on that again, and then you have left the meeting. So again, hopefully this was helpful. This was to give a recap of a training that already happened in a workshop, and just to, for those who weren't able to attend that, to go over some of these things. Depending on the device you have, the options will be in different locations, or they may not even be available. And other than computers, tablets, and phones, if you're on a computer, you can also join on a browser. So whether you use Chrome or Firefox or whatever you use, you can go to zoom.us. I'll type that in here. And you could join, just go up to the top right someplace and you'll see join a meeting. If you click on that, you follow pretty much the same steps that we did in the beginning. Type in the user ID, which is, in this case, 340-693-1081, and click join. Follow the steps. It'll give you the option to download the app if you don't have the software in your computer, or join in the browser. And you could just join in the browser. If you do have the app, the third option that it'll give you is to open in the app. Okay, but you can join in the browser even without the app, and it just limits some of your options. You may not have every single option here in the browser version of Zoom, but you'll still be able to participate in the meeting. You can still use the chat and do some of the basic things. So it's still doable. So many ways to Zoom, and this was just session 1. So hopefully this was helpful to you. Again, where is it? Right there. You can email me, call me. Darren Monifa, again, with the University of the Virgin Islands School of Agriculture's Cooperative Extension Service. I'm on the Orville Ken campus, but we also have staff over on the Albert A. Sheen campus. That's on St. Croix. I'm on St. Thomas, who can assist you with this as well. So feel free to reach out to us. This is what we do. We have courses every so often. Right now we're teaching by Zoom because of COVID-19 and many other things. But we hope to be teaching in person again soon. So give us a call or send us a message and let us know you're interested in taking one of our courses. All right, so take care. See you next time. And you could pass it on if other people need to learn as well.